What's going on, everybody? It's Ryan Searl, and today I'm going to be telling you how I went Division I while being a terrible athlete. Before I even get into the story, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be dropping so many more bangers this year. I'm gonna be getting up a video a day about Division I tips, how to email coaches, and everything you need to know about how to go to college for track and field. Other sports, I'm assuming you can apply the same knowledge, but I specialize in track. Let's get straight into it though. So let's just take it back to high school. My PRs in high school were not the greatest. I only ran 1088 in the 100 and 22.4 in the 200. Both win legal, of course, but I was not that, let's be honest with ourselves, that's not that great of a time. I was still top 20 in my class in California for the 100, but the 200 was just cooked. Going into my senior year, I had 0 offers. I was only talking to maybe some D2s, D3s, and some junior colleges. But other than that, I wasn't talking to anybody. And I was using NCSA at the time, and we all know how that goes. You don't talk to any real coaches. They don't actually get you in touch with anybody. So yeah, that was cooked. It was approaching winter break. I was just sitting in class, and the counselor came in front of the whole class. Was like, Ryan, we need to talk to you. I was like, oh shit. He pulls me into his office, and he was like, Sac State is trying to get your transcripts. And you need to consent to them giving you the transcripts. So I was like, oh, for what? They're like, they want to recruit you. I was like, oh shit. I was like, are they Division I? And they said, yeah. I was like, oh, I never considered going to Sacramento before, but I guess it's an option now. So I sent over the transcripts to them, hit them with the email, and conversations ensued. At that point, that was my only coach I was talking to. I don't think I emailed a single other coach. I think I sent Hail Mary attempts to USC and Texas A&M. They got back to me, but they just gave me their walk-on standards. Until one day, I was just sitting at home and I said, screw it. Let's see if UCSB has a good sprint program, because UCSB at the time was my favorite. That was my dream school. It was on the beach. What else could you want? Top 5 public institution in the country. I think it's ranked top 2 right now. It's like that in Berkeley. And so I saw that they got a new sprint coach, and I was like, oh, he just got hired the other day. Let's be the first person to email him. And so I said, hey coach, sent him the email. Bro emailed me back almost immediately, and we scheduled a visit. And at the same time, I was talking to the Sac State coach, and we ended up scheduling our visits one day after another. So I think I had my UCSB visit on Friday and my Sac State visit on Saturday. So I drove all the way down to Santa Barbara, missed school, went on my visit, then drove all the way up to Sacramento, stayed in the hotel, and went on my Sac State visit. But yeah, I went on my visit at Santa Barbara, and it was cool. I didn't really talk to too many people on the team. I was very awkward at the time. And so nothing really stood out to me in terms of oh, this is amazing. It was cool. There was some protests going on and stuff, but other than that, I kind of just kept to my own, didn't really talk much. After that, shook the coach's hand. He said he'd love to have me on the team, and I was like, oh shit, I'll make my decision soon, I guess. And then I drove up to Sac State, and I was actually on an official visit for Sac State, because they put me in a hotel, fed me, blah, 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 whole 9 yards. After that, I got a call from the Sac State coach the next day after he offered me, I think he offered me $2,000 in scholarship. It was the rest of their throwers money. And then after offering me the next day, he was like, yeah, we ended up signing 3 more guys. That was fast. All right, I think he called me 2 days later, but anyways. Yeah, after that, it was just a done deal, super easy. Just texted the Santa Barbara coach. I said, yep, I want to come here. And he said, bet. My recruitment process wasn't too stressful. I should have been more stressed out because they couldn't get me into school at Santa Barbara until May or June, and mind you, that conversation I had with that coach was in December. So yeah, it definitely took a little bit more time than I'd like, but yeah, that was scary. It was also during COVID, so everything was just super messed up. The Division I recruitment process should not be that difficult. As long as you're just somewhat talented, it's pretty easy. That's why I guess a lot of kids struggle, is because obviously not everyone can be talented. As long as you're running sub 11 and sub 22, you could definitely get on any Division I roster. Or not any Division I roster, but you could probably get on most, or you'll definitely find a home regardless. But obviously the NCAA is getting a lot stronger now, and recruiting standards are becoming ridiculous, and it's coming to the point where Power 5 schools aren't even taking high school kids unless they're top of the nation. They're only taking transfers. They want to be good now, they don't want to develop people. So yeah, finding a home for Division I, definitely start looking at coaches and how they treat athletes, who they recruit and why they recruit them. If they're trying to win now, the coach is probably not that good at progressing you. You're probably going to stay stagnant, because most of those coaches don't actually know how to progress people. That's something no one talks about. These Division I coaches are not as good as you think they are. Usually the higher you go, the shittier they get, which doesn't make sense, but they don't need to develop talent. They just need to keep talented. Anyways, that's my little short story on how I went Division I, just so you guys kind of have more perspective. If you guys want to learn how to go Division I and have a way better story than that and learn from my mistakes, go in the description. I got a free email template to help you get in contact with coaches, and you guys can check out a free community in which you guys can get a complete free guide on how to go Division I. Don't use NCSA either. But yeah, it's been Ryan, guys.